Well, it's a wet Sunday. Hope everyone's okay. I'm just messing around in the attic. Been doing paperwork for work, which I hate doing, all my accounts and stuff. Way behind, so I've been doing all that. And just messing around as well with train controller, just having a look at any new features. And new features are, you can tag sounds, any functions, sound functions, etc. You can tag them directly to the locomotives now. So when the locomotive is pulling off, you can very easily add a couple of lists of commands of what that loco should do when it starts and stops, when it goes into various different modes of slowing down and starting up. So I really quickly added a couple of sounds onto the big boy. Lighting, to kick up lighting, etc. and sound. So I'm just going to fire that up. Let's get out of, let's get out of edit mode rather. It does make it doing sound files, sound programming on the software a lot easier. And yeah, let's have a look. And I've had no sound profiles or macros connected with this loco. I've just tagged sounds onto the loco and various functions for it to do. So when it starts off, it should automatically kick in the sound, etc. There we go. Dead easy. Dead straightforward. For new users of the actual software, it'll be a lot easier to add sounds, etc. and functions into the automation. And there's all instructions telling you how to do it, but it is quite overwhelming if you've never used the software before, because there's multiple windows and sub drop down menus and menus behind menus. It really is a highly customizable software. But that's really so easy to do, because that feature was not on Train Controller 9 or 8 or any of the other ones, as far as I could see. So I've just been playing around with that. It's all working nice. Beautiful loco this. I've got the lock sound 5 in that. I think it might blast its whistle when it comes around this circuit here now. I think it might pick up a bit of sound here. I might have a whistle blast coming around past this other station. There we go. It's just picking up speed. Oh, that's automatic. Automatic control, yeah, so that's good. The castle I built, the small castle I built recently, is in the background there on that corner. I've decided to put it there because it looks better there, because it's N-gauge. Looks like it's in the distance because we've got N-gauge buildings in the distance there on that corner. Just gives a bit of depth to the layout. I've also got N-gauge, the actual airship is N-gauge as well. That's not HO scale. The balloon is N-gauge. It just gives a bit more scope to it being higher up, the smaller it is. And that's that. That's a bit of fun going on. The other project I've got, which I've got all lined up for doing, is taking the chimney stack down, but I'm still not 100% sure, because I'm looking at all the negatives of doing that. I've got to make sure I've got no condensation issues with taking the chimney down and bringing it below the loft flooring. I think if I do that, I'm going to have to put some sort of ventilation on top of the chimney, even when it's below the loft flooring, so I don't get any condensation issues or any sort of damp issues. You've got to be really careful doing stuff like this, so I'm still looking into that. But I have got the actual everything's ready to go when I want it to go. I've got all the prices, everything. My nephew's doing it for me because he's a professional roofer and he takes down chimneys all the time. He's told me what to do and all the pros and cons and everything, so I'd love to get rid of that chimney stack. So the idea is to move all this control panel, all this lot will move right across here, and I'll have a big comfy chair here where the chimney stack is, a couple of chairs there, and I'll have no obstacles in the way of looking at the layout, and it'll be a lot better for working. But we'll see what happens. I've just got to look at all the rest of the negative side of doing that. What else have we got? The crane is on hold. I sent the diagrams to my friend who's an electronics engineer, and he's going to look at the actual PCB to see if there's a fault in it, because I think there is a fault on the board, which I could see on one of the pictures. And I looked into one of the pictures and zoomed into it, I thought I could see something that wasn't quite right. So one of the other YouTubers mentioned to check the board and the diodes, which I am going to do, because I want to keep this as it is. I don't want to you know, really modify it too much, because it's got a beautiful control panel that comes with it, and that'll be obsolete. If I modify it, that'll be obsolete, which I don't want. I'll just show that control panel in a minute now. Yeah, the control panel, that's a box it comes with in this particular crane, but the control panel, it's absolutely amazing. It's well made, and you can control the crane completely from this. You can control a locomotive will go into this on an isolated section of track. It's just got a couple of different ways of, you know, like setting up this control panel. It's a unique to made in Germany. It's unique to the actual crane, and I don't want to lose the option of not being able to use that. I want to try and keep this set as you know, original as possible before starting to retrofit it. There are all the magnets. The magnets hook onto a plate. You also get a metal plate with this. There's a metal plate that'll bury below the isolated track section, etc. And then the feet will stick magnetically, hold onto this base plate to stop the crane tippling over, etc. On marklin C-track. It's a brilliant bit of kit. Really nicely made. So that's why I don't want to retrofit it with anything else. Even when you could put sound in it, but I don't want to do that. I just want to keep this original. Yeah, so on this big boy, which is running around, I've made no complicated sound file macros for it or anything. It's just, all I've done is tagged on the lights, the engine, the cab lighting, and a steam effect to engage when it starts off. And then when it stops, all those effects will shut down. And that'll work on anywhere on the layout, any blocks, any schedule, because it's actually it's designated to the loco and nowhere else, which makes it so much easier to do sound. That's one of the advantages of Train Controller 10, one of the new features anyway. There's many new features on it, and I am glad I upgraded to it, because there's umming around about it for ages. But other than that, I don't think there's much else. There's not much else that's happened. The only other loco I've got on the way, which is ordered, is the Flying Scotsman. I don't know when that's out, I'm not sure. It's all good fun. Right, it's just slowed down and stopped. Now it's reversing back I mean, this is totally unrealistic because the layout's not big enough. It's now shunting all the wagons back, which is totally unrealistic because of the size of the train, but at the moment I've got nowhere else this loco can go because of the size of it as well. Right, so what will happen, it'll reverse back into the siding and then it will shut down sound, etc., lighting. All done with a couple of button presses really. No fancy stuff. You can have much more complicated sound profile settings. And I've got the bell trigger in there as well, coming back into the siding. And that's shunting back to where it came from. Nice and easy. That's it, everything shuts down. Well, it should stop working now, the sound. There we go, all done, lights off. And that is a pretty nifty feature, that. Quite impressed with that. Easy to do, very easy. Anyway, that's just a quick video. Hope everyone's doing alright. Thanks for watching.